Morning all, it's 8:46 in the AM. I'm on my way to Gerrard's Cross to pick up Dan, the old famous GC Shuffle once again. Today's topic is, what's your lifestyle? What is lifestyle? Is it something we choose? Is it something that's sort of thrust upon us by the level that we earn at? What is it? Is it based on class? Is it based on your job? How much of it do you choose and how much of it do you just have to put up with? So that's what we're discussing today. Stick around, it's going to be interesting. Hello mate.
Hello mate, thanks for that.
Trouble getting out.
Fucking gate ain't working.
Oh dear. Sorry.
Enjoy it.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Good.
How are you?
Yeah, good. There you go. This week,
Yeah.
we are discussing what's your lifestyle. So what is a lifestyle?
Well,
what do you think?
Sort of Randy Boozer, I'd say.
Randy Boozer.
What is a lifestyle? It's the way that you choose to live.
Yeah, but is it always a choice or is it something that's...
I don't think it is always a choice. I think a choice is, if you've got a choice, you're fortunate.
Yeah, if your income gives you enough choices that you get to choose your lifestyle.
Yeah. I'm incredibly
You've had a
fortunate.
result.
I feel very, very lucky. I saw Jimmy Carr saying, you know, you take simple things for granted, like having a hot shower in the morning.
I saw that.
That's only been in the last sort of
50 years, he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ability
know.
to have a hot shower every morning
Yeah.
at home.
I remember my mum saying that she was a little girl, they moved into a house that had an inside bathroom.
Yeah.
Prior to that, they'd had to go down the garden.
Yeah, I mean, I remember my parents talking about that stuff. Obviously, my parents grew up in the war and yeah, my dad had like an outside toilet and stuff. And I remember we moved into a house. There was a big jump in my parents' lifestyle. In 1980, my dad, he'd had a pay rise or something or other. And we suddenly went from living in a regular size house to quite a big detached house. And we had a shower, you know, a separate shower room. And we, you know, it felt like a big step up.
Yeah.
It felt like, oh, posh. Yeah.
We're posh all of a
We're
sudden.
posh, you know.
Yeah.
We've got a living room which is just too big. It was all a bit weird.
I was reading actually that the middle classes are being squeezed at the moment. The article was basically saying, you know, we've had to sack the cleaner.
Yeah.
You know, the kids can't go to private school anymore. Yeah, I know, exactly. But they're saying that because of inflation related to the percentage that the ultra wealthy are earning on their wealth, it just means that the wealthier are just getting wealthier and wealthier and wealthier, and all they can do with this extra money is buy up assets.
Yeah, you've been watching Gary Stevenson, haven't you?
I haven't. Was it Gary? I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Did I read
Gary's
it?
Economics.
Was it?
Yeah, that guy. He's been online. We're going to talk about it later in the episode, but he's been talking about it a lot. You know, about the fact that the ultra wealthy are properly squeezing the middle class.
Yeah.
Which affects literally our lifestyles, all of them.
I don't know why, but I feel quite. I don't know, because I feel quite insular. Like I sort of don't really. I don't know. I don't feel like I engage much with people. Talk about class and stratas and you know. I don't really engage with other people. Maybe I do. I don't know. But I don't see a class. I don't see a class. Maybe it's because I work at home. I'm just at home all the time.
Yeah, just not interacting. You wouldn't be. I mean, there isn't much of a class system these days. It's not.
There must be.
I mean, there is a bit of one. You can't help it. But you know, there is. I mean,
there's certainly super rich.
There's super rich. There's kind of like everybody else.
Yeah.
And then there's almost like an underclass now, isn't there? It's not even working class. There's some people who've got literally nothing.
Yeah.
It's not like the old style 3-tier system. You know, the people at the bottom are really, really struggling. But you know, I think there's this thing that happens because technology advances so quickly, and it has done our whole lives.
Yeah.
The stuff that we have now in our homes, you would have only been able to have if you were super rich 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
if you went into someone's house and saw like a 60-inch TV, you'd be like, you are rich beyond your wildest dreams.
Yeah.
You know, and you've got all this technology which was unavailable to average people. Now everybody's got it. And I remember seeing a thing online not long ago that said there was a real marked difference between a rich person, what their house was like inside, and a poor person. I said, now there's a very good chance that someone who's on not very good income has probably got a 50, 60-inch TV, same as you. Probably got an iPhone, same as you.
Yeah.
You know, everything is the same, and the richest person in the world has probably got the same phone as you, and their TV's not much better.
No.
It's all squashed up, the difference.
Yeah.
And that,
we used to argue about who had to get up to change the channel. Remote control was cutting edge technology.
I remember my mate used to go around his house. He, you know, like a lot of us when we were kids in the 80s, he'd been given the old family TV for his bedroom.
Yeah.
And because he didn't have a remote, he had a long bamboo stick. He used to change channels in bed with his stick.
I'm always happiest when, I was going to say I was happiest with no money. I don't know. I'm pretty happy at the moment. Things are pretty good.
Yeah. I think you can be happy with not a lot of money. I don't think lifestyle necessarily has to make you miserable.
It's stressful though, isn't it? Having
stressful.
No money.
Yeah. Well, we did an episode about stress, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it was that was one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
But, you know, I always say to my kids, if you've got enough to pay your bills and a little bit left, you've won. Do you know what I mean? That's it. Everything after that, you're just building. But you have to get to the point where you can afford to pay for everything you need and have a bit left over.
Would you say that you work hard?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say I would. I would say it's often difficult for people to see that.
Yeah.
Because
you work on your own.
I work on my own, and a lot of the work is it's really hard to justify, but sometimes it's thinking.
I know. I'm down with that.
There's a lot of thinking that has to go on before you do any doing, and the thinking is the important bit.
That's a really good point.
And it's hard for other people to see that as work,
especially when you're snoring at the same time.
But it's true. I've read about this a lot. That a lot of creative people or people that are in any way having to use their brains a lot. You know, if they're not given time to do what they need to do, you know, and that can mean quiet, that can mean unwinding. I like every day this is lifestyle, so every day I need a good couple of hours at the end of the day where I can switch off.
Yeah.
Like my girlfriend can finish work, go to bed. I can't do that.
No, I can't do that.
I need to sit and watch something on TV that's unrelated to my work. It doesn't matter if it's like really interesting and I've got to get into it, or whether it's just funny, or whether it's something I can mostly ignore and be on my phone. I need to do something like that for a couple of hours for my brain to unwind, so I can get into the place where I'm ready to sleep.
You see, I walk the dogs. That's my thing. I like taking the dogs out.
Yeah. Well, that's very relaxing. I walk the dog sometimes.
I do that in the morning. And in fact, you're talking about thinking time. I'll make a list in my mind when I'm walking the dogs in the morning on what I need to do.
Ah, okay.
So I'll get up, and I like it in the morning, you know, because I work at home, I don't have to get involved with the travel. I wake up, I read the paper, have a cup of tea, bit of breakfast, out with the dogs, make plan for the morning, start work.
Yeah.
Lucky, man. So lucky to be able to live like that.
Yeah.
It's not frantically getting up. I do like the mornings where I've got my daughter and it's up and dressed and you're drying hair and brushing hair and putting hair up. And,
yeah.
You know.
Cracking on.
Yeah, having arguments about bloody Paw Patrol.
Yeah, I think lifestyle for me is definitely... well, I lived on my own for, what was it? I can't remember how long. It was 12 years, I think. And that 12-year period, I learned to appreciate the fact that I literally chose what I did with every hour of my day.
Yeah.
I had work to do.
Yeah.
And as long as I got it done, I could do it whenever. you know, and when you're not living with anybody else, you can choose to do the work in the middle of the night if you want.
I know. It used to be your big thing. I remember, especially when you moved into the flat. Your last flat was you walking into town for coffee in the mornings.
I did that every day for a couple of years.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
In the end, I stopped. I thought I've got a really good coffee machine. What am I doing?
Yeah.
But,
well, that's what I've sort of reached that point. You know, I don't go out because I've realised I actually like being at home. You know, I've spent a lot of money and effort making my house nice. Why would you want to go sit somewhere else? Yeah. These people that go and sit in, we've got one of these, is it Henry Lloyd? What are the gyms?
Oh, David Lloyd.
David Lloyd, yeah. John Lloyd, whatever.
John Lloyd. Harold Lloyd.
Yeah. And I went in there because I was thinking about a membership, and it's just full of people drinking cappuccinos on laptops.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, what are you doing? Why are you not at home?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
They're getting away from something.
Yeah.
Or someone.
Yeah.
Lifestyle observation for you. It's 10 to 11 on a Friday. We're sat in a park having a cappuccino.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same. Yeah.
That's
and we were able to make the arrangements on Wednesday.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's cool, isn't it? Being able to move stuff around. And
That is for me the one of the highlights of having the kind of lifestyle, you know, self-employment, working for yourself, whatever, where you can just, if you know, whether it's me and you doing something, whether it's one of my kids phoning up, wants to meet for lunch, you know, can you do it? Yeah.
As long as your girlfriend says it's okay, you're like, you can do it.
The ability to be able to rearrange stuff at the last minute is a big deal for me. You know, I have had proper jobs, not many.
No, we did an episode on that, didn't we?
Yeah, and I just found it horrendous having to be somewhere for 8 hours of the day, and there's absolutely no reason whatsoever that you can't be.
But then that's what people have to do.
I get it, and a lot of people love it.
You know when I notice that most is when you walk past like estate agents, and there's just people sat in. I tell you where I went into a TUI, like the travel agent thing.
Oh yeah.
And they're all sat there in this ridiculously blue and pink office with all this horrible lighting. Do you know what I mean? All wearing the same clothes. I just thought, you poor... I mean, not that they want my sympathy, but I just thought, I'm glad that I haven't got this job.
Yeah.
Incidentally, the guy was really good, really helpful, so top marks.
Well, I think a lot of people get a lot out of having a job and belonging to a company. My brother has always had really good jobs, and back in the summer, he won't mind me saying this, he got made redundant, and he spent from then until now out of work, and he's just got a new job. He's really excited about it.
Good.
But I was trying to talk him into maybe considering self-employment, setting up a company, working for himself. Just he wasn't interested really, and I realised that that's not what he likes.
No.
He likes to work for a company, get properly involved, become part of a team. You know, and there's things you get, you know, from working like that, in that you go somewhere every day, you work with a bunch of people you generally get on with, you enjoy spending time with. It becomes a big part of someone's social life if they're wired that way.
Yeah.
Whereas me and you were wired to sit in rooms on our own all day and talk to no one.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. The only thing I find is, because my office is on the top floor of my house, it's the transition from finishing work to the evening.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you sort of go downstairs, especially if the other half's out.
Yeah.
You go downstairs to an empty house and you think, shall I sit upstairs a bit longer? Should I?
I have exactly that, because I work, you know, my studio's in the garden.
Yeah.
And, you know, whatever time I finish, let's say I finish at 6, I then have to transition into the house where life is happening. Yeah. And try and fit in. Yeah. And sometimes it's a tricky transition because, you know, I've been on my own, not spoken to a soul all day quite often. So it's...
Again, like you were saying, it's the couple of hours of TV, and like I was saying, it's the dog walks. I find that helps with the... But the other thing is, I would rather, especially in the winter, have my tea and go and get into bed and watch the TV in bed than I would sit on the sofa.
Yeah, do you know what? When I lived on my own, I did more of that. It becomes a little bit less socially acceptable when there's a bunch of people in the house. Yeah. And also, you know, my girlfriend generally likes to go to bed a good couple of hours before I do. So, you know, she'll go to bed and I'll stay watching TV. So, you know, we have done the thing where I've done that and we've had to swap. Yeah. Right, I'll get up then, go downstairs. You can go to sleep. It's a bit weird.
Yeah. I'm very lucky. My other half will sleep with the telly on. So if like last night, I was watching TV quite late.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll have a bit of a binge. There's a good limited documentary series.
Yep. When my dad was my age, he was a bit older when he had kids than I was. So, you know, he had a pretty much, I think my sister was at university, me and my brother would have been at home. Very traditional sort of family. He'd come in from work and my mum would make him his dinner.
Yeah.
He'd sit eating his dinner, you know, watching the telly.
Yeah.
I'd probably be sat with him.
Yeah.
You know, my brother too, we'd have dinner together and then we'd probably watch TV together for a chunk of the evening.
Yeah.
I mean, when he was 52, I'd have been about 12, so yeah, maybe not quite at the age where I was disappearing up to my bedroom yet.
No.
You know, I'd probably stay and watch TV with my mum and dad.
It's different now, isn't it? Because you've got electronic devices, so the kids don't sit and watch TV with their parents.
No, I had a ZX Spectrum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which kids won't even know what it is.
Run off cassette.
Yeah. Very, very early days computer, which you could play some pretty basic games on and stuff.
We had an Acorn Electron.
See, I always looked up to the Electron.
Did you?
Yeah, thought it was a cooler computer.
Yeah. Sort of cream finish.
It was a cut-down version of the BBC, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah. With the black screen with the green...
Yeah, I just think that looked cooler. It looked more like the one from War Games. That was the way I saw it when I was 12. Yeah, interesting.
Whistler. Nice dogs.
Different times, wasn't it? Different things that happened in a family home, completely different lifestyles.
The things I was thinking about, like smoking, you know, everybody used to smoke. Smoking inside, smoking around the kids. Now...
Oh, God, no. That don't happen now.
No, and it's I mean, we've both smoked in the past. You probably more recently than I, but I can't bear the fucking smell of it now.
No, it's interesting,
Having to stand outside at the pub.
Yeah, it seems insane now, really, standing in the freezing cold having a cigarette while everyone else is inside.
And they're banning vapes, aren't they? They're banning disposable vapes this summer.
They're worse.
Yeah.
They're way worse. And it turns out they might even be worse for you.
I've read that this week, yeah.
Which would be good, because then they can just go. Because that's a ridiculous thing, vaping.
The snooze pouches, they reckon that the tobacco companies have been pushing those on young kids.
They're disgusting.
Yeah.
They're really disgusting. Wow. 52 and smoking is an interesting combination. So I don't smoke at 52. My dad at 52 had a heart attack because he was a heavy smoker and had been since he was very young.
Yeah.
And that, so I don't know what year that was when he was 52, but it would have been around sort of middle of the 80s, you know, maybe 85, I guess. And that's when our house became a non-smoking house.
What, when he stopped?
When he had his heart attack, he stopped smoking, he never smoked again.
Yeah.
My mum made him eat healthy food. He went from having a fry-up every day to having a grapefruit, you know, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So our house changed rapidly overnight from a house that was smoky to a house that was pristine.
Do you remember it being smoky?
Yeah, I used to sit on my dad's lap on a Saturday when I was like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I used to watch Grandstand or the Grand Prix with him.
Yeah.
He would be smoking and I would ask him to blow it in my face because I liked it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Can you imagine that now?
No. Well, I mean, you still see mothers in the street smoking over the pram and stuff like that, don't you? Pretty grim.
But yeah, it didn't bother me as a kid at all. It was only, you know, and it's obviously why I later in life became, a smoker at times.
It's the only thing, we've said this before, I'm a boozer. You know, I've always had the trouble with drinking too much. But nicotine's the only thing that you've ever really had not an issue with, but you found it difficult to stop smoking and then to stop vaping, didn't you? Yeah,
I think it's, everyone finds something like that. Not always everyone, but yeah, I've never had a problem with drink. I like drinking, but I could just as easily not drink. It doesn't bother me one way or the other.
Nicotine and tea?
Tea, cups of tea, well, I'm never giving up, ever. I mean, I've had to cut down on my coffee. That's been hard.
Has it?
Yeah.
Has it?
That's been really hard.
I see. I mean, we have a cup of coffee sometimes with you. You've got that nice coffee machine in the studio. But other than that, I don't drink coffee anymore. We used to buy these bags of really expensive coffee.
Yeah.
And, and you go through them, in a week, a few days, drinking cafetières and cups of tea now.
Yeah,
It's just stopped like that.
I ran a coffee company for a little while.
Yeah,
I was so into coffee. I just wanted to be involved with it more. I love the smell of it, the taste of it. I love everything about it.
It does smell good.
And then...
I would say that, so does petrol. I wouldn't drink that.
But yeah, when the doctor says, you're drinking too many espressos, you just need to stop.
Yeah.
And, maybe one a day.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, oh, okay, fair enough.
I've got a friend who stopped drinking coffee, and he said he used to suffer with anxiety on the way to work. So he'd have a coffee and he'd be panicky on the way to work. Stop drinking coffee, doesn't get anxiety anymore.
I can imagine, yeah. It's
But my other half's into coffee. It's like, I'm just going to go and treat myself to a coffee. And then she has a coffee, but doesn't have real milk.
Okay.
I guess that's another lifestyle thing, isn't it? The sort of the coffee shop. It's like, for a coffee she has, it can be like £7.
Oh, it's insane, yeah. Yeah, well, I just pay £7 for these 2 cappuccinos.
What the fuck is a pumpkin latte?
Pumpkin spice latte.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want pumpkins in my coffee. I know that.
I don't want pumpkins or in my pie.
Don't really want them anywhere.
No.
Don't mind pumpkin soup. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't want them
It's
in
a squash, isn't it, pumpkin? I like butternut squash and stuff like that.
Don't want it in my beverage. It's a bit like putting fruit in beer, though. I can't stand that either.
No. What?
You order a Blue Moon or something like that, and it turns up with an orange floating in it. I'm like, I don't want a fruit salad. I want a beer. What are you doing?
Yeah. Anyway, that brings us to the end of episode 9. Thanks for watching. You can do all the usual stuff. There's Instagram, there's TikTok.
Yeah.
You can watch this on YouTube, obviously. You can also watch it or listen to it on Spotify.
It's really good. I listen to it on Spotify and it sends me to sleep.
Good. I don't know if that's good or bad. But yeah.
Yeah, I listen to podcasts on Spotify.
Yeah, it's available in various places. Follow, like, do all that stuff, and we will see you in the next one.
See ya.
See you later.